Now our next presenter is Dr. Terrence Cash, Chairman and Founder, Greenlight Corporate Groups, with a new Power Talk topic, Wealth Secrets the Rich Don't Talk About at Cocktail Parties. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes forward.
3 years before birth, his oldest sister died of lupus. She was only 7 years old. 1 year later, his mother had an ectopic pregnancy. At the time, doctors recommended she have a complete hysterectomy. His mother mounted an articulate argument to keep her last remaining fallopian tube and ovaries, which miraculously resulted in his birth. When he was 2, his mother and father separated for good and divorced. He didn't see or speak with his dad until he was 13. Through high school, with a 98% overall average, he excelled at advanced classes in math, science, and English. He was accepted in the rigorous electrical engineering program at Rochester Institute of Technology. This world-class university included an 18-month requirement of real-world experience in your field of study. After his graduation, he enjoyed management and directorship posts at several multi-billion-dollar defense and high-technology companies. After excelling for 7 years in post-graduation, he benefited his employers with tens of millions of dollars in complex technology designs and sales negotiations. Unfortunately, just 6 months later, he was unceremoniously laid off. With his traditional workplace disappointments as motivation, he launched an information technology company which languished for 5 years. Fortunately for him and for us, he went on to meet thousands of wealthy and successful entrepreneurs who shared their proven practices and wealth principles. 16 years later, that once failing business was now producing over $30 million in annual revenues. Ultimately, after considering a 9-figure IPO, he enjoyed a private sale of the business for 8 figures. After retiring briefly for 4 years, he considered the many hidden secrets and wealth principles he learned from the rich. This resulted in Greenlight's proprietary no personal gain success formula and framework, which he now shares with the world. Now in its 7th year of operation, Greenlight is a multi-million-dollar pioneer and a leading provider of business success, financial empowerment, and wealth creation solutions for over 5,300 clients worldwide. And now, seasoned serial entrepreneur, accredited private investor, business, money, and wealth coach, best-selling author, philanthropist, and Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awards recipient from President Barack Hussein Obama, I present to you Greenlight Chairman and Founder, Dr. Terrence Cash.
How's everyone doing today? Y'all can do a lot better than that. How's everyone doing today? It's my honor and pleasure to be here today. It's really humbling seeing this great and massive group here, all about empowerment and spirituality. But first and foremost, let's give a big hand of applause to 30 years of empowerment and excellence by Dr. George Frazier and the fabulous FrazierNet team. You know, in thinking about it for a second, Wealth Secrets the Rich Don't Talk About at Cocktail Parties reminds me of the story when 2 wolves and a sheep are deciding on what they're going to eat for dinner. I mean, we all know it's how it's going to end, right? But the main importance and significance of this scenario is in asking the right questions. Many of you know that I have been mentored by thousands of the wealthy elite, and all the answers and lessons I got were based on the questions I asked. So it's very important to ask the right questions. Now, some of you may say that asking questions is a form of weakness. I couldn't disagree with you more. For me, nothing is further from the truth. The same is true for creating wealth. So today, I'm going to share with you some observations about some of the world's wealthiest people, how they execute their money matters differently than anybody else. People like Oprah Winfrey, Magic Johnson, Bill Gates, and George Frazier. I'm also going to outline some of the principles and strategies for how you and each and every one of you can be more like them. So let's go to wealth creation formula, wealth creation secret number 1. First thing you have to understand is the only difference between you and you and you and you and all of you and the people you admire or maybe even envy financially is their perspective, their mindset, and their relationship with money. So let's repeat after me. The only difference between me and the people I admire or maybe even envy financially is their mindset, their perspective, and their relationship with money. So let's talk about the Greenlight proprietary no personal gain wealth creation formula and framework. One of the tenets of that success formula, it suggests, it more suggests, it directs that wealth creation has little to nothing to do with money. Now think about how counterintuitive that has. Because if you're wealthy, typically you have a lot of money. Just ask my good friend, Dr. Michael Robbins. But that is not the main component of wealth. It's the wealth mindset. You see, it's been said, men lie, women lie, but facts, figures, and results never lie. So let's talk about some facts. Fact, the average NBA basketball player makes about $5.15 million per year. Now, we're not talking about superstars like LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Stephen Curry or George Frazier. George, I think, is best at time travel. I really mean that. Can you say lottery winners? Can you say movie stars and other celebrities? All of these people have money, right? They're rich by design. But the problem is you end up seeing them on the front page of the newspaper, right? This one has tax problems. This one's home is being foreclosed on. This one's car is being repossessed. So it's not just about being rich. Matter of fact, it has nothing to do with being rich at all. So what are the key principles to consider? Well, one of the main key principles to support how you could be more like the wealthy elite is know this one simple truism. People who know how usually, and I'd say always, end up working for or making less money than people who know why. So if you want to be the person at the end of the day with most of the money, you better be the why guy. Say why guy. Or the why gal. Say why gal. Or you're going to be losing right from the beginning. So why ask why? And how do you begin this process? Well, getting a coach is the first step in that process because knowledge and wisdom and insight is priceless. Priceless. So you need a coach, you need a mentor, you need a strategist whose philosophy you resonate with. There's a lot of coaches here, a lot of fine coaches. They have a lot of experience, most of them. Their credentials will impress you, but you need to pick a coach who has their own patented proprietary philosophy that you resonate with. Because at the end of the day, that's actually and only what you're buying. You're buying that philosophy and how much that resonates with your spirit and in your psyche. I mean, I'm not hiking through the Himalayas without a guide. I'm just not doing it. You want to do it? Send me some pictures. I'm not doing it. You know, Himalayan hiking done easy. I'm not doing it. I'm going to get a top flight guide. I'm going to have him with his team of llamas. You know, they always have llamas, right? And they got the dogs and the food and provisions. And he knows the terrain and he knows the weather. And I'm following him because I trust him. He knows the why, not just the how. It's a damn shame what happened to Maria. She's the llama on the left. The wealthy invest in themselves and in time itself. Now, you can look at me, might not know it from looking at me. I'm pretty handy around the house. I mean, believe it or not, I got the housekeepers and the chefs. Believe it or not, I'm pretty handy. Mama Cash raised me right. I can cook, I can clean. I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning. I'm not washing the cars. Some of you know that we are the leading business, money, and wealth coach solutions company in the nation. So we got a little mini fleet of Alpine white BMWs. I'm not washing the cars, and it has nothing to do with pride, arrogance, or ego. I tell my clients all the time, pride, arrogance, and ego are luxuries. You actually pay for them. They'll make you do things you shouldn't be doing with your money, and they will encourage you to do the things you shouldn't. So they are not good for your money. So you should avoid them like the plague. Let's go on to another principle that the wealthy taught me over the last 30 years. Those who are less enlightened code for the poor, middle class, and upper middle class, trade their time for money. So if you are being compensated as a result of your time, unfortunately, you haven't even begun to reach the lowest rungs of wealth. Now, the more enlightened, that's code for rich and wealthy elite. They trade their money for time. I trade my money for time constantly, all the time. And the simple way you do it is CTC, cut the check. Sure, could I fix a leaky pipe or a squeaky door or something going on in, the garage? I probably could, but the easiest way to accomplish that is just simply cut the check. Remember this, unfortunately, in our communities, we do what? We consume more than we save, and we save more than we invest. So we got the whole thing upside down, So cut the check, primarily for things that are gonna do what? Save you time. Why? Because time is infinitely more valuable and expensive than money.